You ever seen a man smile while watching a building burn? Not out of madness, nah, out of something colder, quieter, like justice. The kind that don't knock, don't ask, just walks right in and takes. That was Elijah Moore, the day the 8th Precinct lit up like a bonfire. Smoke curled into the evening sky, sirens wailing from a distance, but he just stood there, hands wrapped in bandages, eyes locked on the flames, and one more name crossed off his list. But let me back up a sec. 2 months earlier, Elijah was just a chemistry professor, quiet guy, 52 years old, salt and pepper beard, glasses always slipping down his nose, taught organic chem at Atlanta Western, had this calm way of speaking, like even his thoughts wore lab coats. But that day, the day his daughter Layla kissed his cheek and walked out the door with her camera bag slung over her shoulder, something changed. She was a journalist, not just a blogger or influencer, a real one, press badge and all. Layla Moore, 24, sharp as hell, fierce, with this wild mane of curls that no ponytail could ever tame. She said, "This story matters, Dad. People need to see how the police treat us." She never made it home. It was a protest. Peaceful until it wasn't. Tear gas, rubber bullets, chaos, and right in the middle, Layla was doing what she always did, documenting, filming officers beating a black teenage boy. Next thing witnesses saw, she was swarmed, thrown to the ground, kicked, hit, her camera smashed beside her, and the worst part? She was wearing her damn press badge. Elijah got the call at 8:43 p.m., ICU, coma, multiple contusions, possible brain damage. He walked into that sterile hospital room like a man sleepwalking through hell. Machines beeped, fluorescent lights buzzed, and there Layla lay, tubes in her nose, IVs taped to her arms, lips split open and eyes shut so tight he could swear she was still flinching from the blows. He sat by her bed, took her hand in his, those fingers that used to scribble in notebooks, now limp and pale, and whispered, "I'm here, baby girl. Dad's here now." You know how people always say, let the system handle it? Well, Elijah tried, filed complaints, gathered statements, even hired Vanessa Chavez, this civil rights lawyer with a spine made of titanium. She believed in justice, but told him flat out, "Don't expect miracles. The system wasn't built to protect us. It was built to protect them." Still, they tried, filed motions, released the footage Layla captured before her camera cut out. And when the grand jury finally convened, they declined to indict. Cops said she was interfering with a lawful arrest. Elijah said, she was documenting a beating. The DA said, there are two sides to every story. That was the moment the quiet professor died. He kissed Layla's forehead and walked out of that hospital with a new kind of silence in his bones. Not the silence of grief, the silence of calculation. You see, Elijah wasn't just some grieving dad. He was a scientist. Systems were his religion. Inputs, outputs, patterns, variables. And this system? Oh, he'd studied it long enough to know where the cracks were. First thing he did? He built a list. Names, badge numbers, routines. The 12 officers involved in Layla's assault. Cross-referenced with whistleblower files he got from a retired cop named Washington, guy who knew he'd be burned either way and said, "Hell, if I go down, let the truth come out with me." Then came the lab. Elijah turned his apartment into a workshop, synthesized a compound that mimicked violent food poisoning, nausea, cramps, vomiting, lasted 72 hours, left no trace. Legal? Nope. Lethal? Not at all. But humiliating? You bet. Officer Ryan Baker, sick during roll call. Officer Collins, caught in a compromising position after an anonymous package of photos hit his wife's desk. Detective Reynolds, the one who downplayed Layla's injuries, arrested on bribery charges after Elijah rerouted old internal audit files to a DA who did have a conscience. Each strike was clean, invisible, like surgical scalpel cuts beneath the surface. But oh, the bleeding. Whispers flew through the department. Someone's targeting us. But who? They blamed rival gangs, federal agents, internal leaks. No one suspected the professor who still visited his daughter daily, brought her flowers, whispered updates, hoped for finger twitches that might mean she was coming back. Then one day, boom, Layla's main attacker, Sergeant Marcus Pearson, got promoted. A cake, balloons, whole damn precinct celebrating. And that was the last straw. Elijah upped the ante, started leaking a manifesto, a dossier filled with case numbers, misconduct records, photos, sent it to journalists, civil rights orgs, Twitter, Reddit, the works. And it exploded. Media frenzy. Protesters back on the streets. The same ones Layla used to march with, now holding her photo high above their heads. Some officers broke down. Others turned on each other. Lieutenant Collins, suicide. Pearson, car crash. Not fatal, just enough to keep him in a wheelchair, watching his empire crumble from the sidelines. But here's the twist. Just when it looked like Elijah was going to go full vigilante, burn everything down for real, something shifted. Her voice, Layla's voice, from a recovered audio clip on her camera. No violence, just truth. That whisper in the dark pulled Elijah back. He had already planted devices, chemical dispersers, flash drives, trigger systems, all set for the big gala. A fundraiser packed with cops, politicians, and media. One push, and the whole place would have gone dark with shame and panic. But instead, he rewired the system, literally. Used the venue's AV feed to broadcast every dirty secret they tried to bury, every file, every name, every detail. Live. The people they tried to fool, the voters, the taxpayers, the cameras, now knew the truth. And just as he made his way toward the back exit, Pearson, from his chair, spotted him. "You!" he yelled. Elijah paused, didn't run, didn't panic, just looked him dead in the eye and said, "You picked the wrong daughter." A month later, Layla woke up. Not fully, not the same. But she woke. Speech slow, memory foggy. But her first clear sentence? Did they pay? Elijah nodded. "Yeah, baby. They're paying now." The final officer was sentenced last week. 12 years, no parole. 17 total indicted. 4 resigned. 3 disgraced publicly. And 1 precinct burned from the inside out. But was it revenge? Nah. This was accountability, served cold with lab precision. Elijah's still around, doesn't talk much. Volunteers at a youth outreach center now. Teaches chemistry on weekends to kids who want more than just survival. Layla's relearning words, walking with a cane, but stronger than ever. And the city? It's watching its new police force graduate under a new name, a new code, and one very familiar guest speaker at the podium, Layla Moore. She said, "We're not anti-police, we're anti-abuse, and now we build something better." Now let me ask you something. If someone you loved was beaten into a coma for doing the right thing, what would you do? Would you trust the system? Or would you become the reckoning? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this story shook you, even a little, like, share, and subscribe. Because these stories, they matter. Just like Layla said, the world needs to see.